So we're going to go over the warm-up. Make sure you get everything down. Our test is going to be next week on Wednesday, so we'll do some review on Tuesday. So your test is Thursday. When DNA is being replicated in interphase, which is the first phase of cell replication, what is the name of the little enzyme that puts new pieces on? This is a very hard question. You may have left it blank. And actually, you can find the answer on your DNA replication coloring page. It's this yellow blob. And it is putting on new pieces of DNA, new nucleotides, piece. So it's a DNA piece putter-oner called DNA poly-M, and then the word erase, polymerase. So we'll write that down, DNA polymerase. The letters that are the phases of mitosis spell IP, mat, interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Number 3, label the phase that goes with each picture. I'm going to label them in order. So you kind of have to know what cell is what. So in C, here the cell is doing normal cell things, so that would be interphase. I'm not going to write phase. I want you to have enough space. Then I go to prophase, where the nuclear membrane starts to break apart, and we can actually see the chromosomes because it's being like clumped up and braided. And I'm going to put that right here. So the nucleus is breaking apart, and I can see the chromosomes. That's prophase. Then they line up in the middle, which is right here, for metaphase. And now we're going to enter the Anna the Ripper phase, where these get pulled apart. And that is over here. They're getting pulled apart. This is anaphase. And finally, 2 new nuclei form during telophase. So this is telophase. What is the big idea behind mitosis? What is a cell doing? One cell is splitting into 2. It's just doubling. How many chromosomes are in your cells? 46 for human, which means that there are 23 pairs. Half of 46 is 23. You've got 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s, 2 number 3s. Why do you have 2 of everything? Because you got 1 from your mom and 1 from dad. If you need a second to write these things down, pause it at any moment. True or false? Both bacteria and our cells do mitosis. This is false. Bacteria don't do mitosis. They do binary fission. True or false? Every single cell in the human body does mitosis. Technically, that's false. You do have cells that don't. They are reproductive cells. So sperm and egg, reproductive cells, do not do mitosis. And we'll talk about that in the next chapter when we do genetics. What happens during interphase? That's when the cell is normal. And so it is doing normal cell stuff. Also, all of the DNA gets replicated. In interphase. That's when this is happening. DNA gets doubled during interphase, which takes a while. There's 3 billion letters to copy, so your cell is in interphase for a lot of the time, about 80% of the time. True or false? The number of chromosomes in the 2 daughter cells, which is the result of mitosis, is half of the original cell. So here's your first cell. It has 46. I'm saying true or false? The new cells that we're making only have 23. That is false. The new cells that we're making have a full set of DNA. And I know that because we copied everything. Which statement is true? Is mitosis part of the cell cycle, or is the cell cycle part of mitosis? If you get confused on that, don't forget to look right here. Mitosis, which is just these, is part of the entire cell cycle. Cell cycle is all of them. So I would say that mitosis is part of the cell cycle. So in your notebook, if you could flip flip past your mitosis notes. We did this together where you looked at how many cells were in each phase, and they were definitely most of them in interphase, and then you had to do this. And hopefully you just wrote interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and cytokinesis. And then mitosis is just these, pro, meta, ana, and telo. Again, it tells you that right here. You had to write down what was happening here, 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 and here. You can use your notes if you haven't done that yet for any reason, but you were supposed to write it all down right here, what was happening. On the back, we're actually going to look at this cell cycle page. And we're going to color in each of these. Black marker, this gigantic chunk that takes up most of the time is interphase. Then we're going to have prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, which is mitosis. And then the cutting part. The cutting part is hard to see. Cytokinesis. So using colored pencils, you are going to shade in interphase, the part that is mitosis, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and then finally cytokinesis. And you're going to color those in, and when you are done, it should look something like this. Mine's a little bit messy. Interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase is mitosis, and then there's cytokinesis. So you're going to take a second to color those in. You can pause it if you'd like. The cell cycle is all of these, and mitosis is just that. When you are done with this, you are going to do two things. You are going to do this gizmo. I gave you where to go online, the login RSF6, password RSF6, go to my class, and choose cell division. You have to read these directions so carefully. So for example, when it tells you how to get started, it says on the simulation plane of the cell division gizmo, check that the cell cycle is 12 hours and click play. Observe until the maximum number of cells is shown and then click pause. And then later on it tells you to do very specific things. Click the magnification box, move the cursor over the cells. So as you go through this, when you type in Explorer Learning, it looks like this, explorerlearning.com. You would put in RSF6 for the password, RSF6, for the username and login. And when you log in, you're going to choose cell division, which is exactly what the directions say. And your gizmo looks like this. And it says, just like I told you, it says in the simulation plane of cell division, check that the cell cycle is set to 12 hours. Here's the simulation plane, and it's set to 12 hours. And then it says to click play, which is right here. Later on, it's going to ask you to click table, bar chart, graph. So you press play. And this cell is going to divide every 12 hours. At some point, a little note shows up that says that you have reached the maximum number, and when that happens, you're supposed to press pause, which is exactly what it says to do. There's your note. So I pause it. Do they all look the same? No. Some are in different phases of mitosis. So then it says click the magnify and move this over here. You can actually see what different cells look like at this point. That one's in anaphase. This one is in telophase, and so on. And so you're going to read about that, and then it tells you at B to select the bar chart, and you have to actually do that. And then it says click show numerical values, and you have to write down how many are in interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, cytokinesis, etc. You can always reset your values and start over, go back to description, and and do it again. And it's going to ask you to do different things as you go through this. Here you're going to have to go through each phase and draw it. And then it tells you to start doing some stuff at section B, where you change it to 10 hours, and then you have to record your data. So you'll be using all of sorts of stuff on here. Okay. You should be able to finish this in class. When you are totally done with your gizmo, please feel free to work with a partner if you'd like on this, as long as you're quiet. You can go to this using your colored pencils. You're going to draw each phase and write down what's happening. You use your notes to do this. Draw phase 1. Draw interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and cytokinesis. You're also writing down what's happening. 2 new nuclei, blah, blah, blah. So you'll write that down here. And right here at the bottom, you stop. Anything you don't finish is homework. Do not go past this point. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. Oh, wait. So, just really quickly, there's 3 things. Color that. Do that. And then if you do this in class, you're done. If you don't, that's homework. And the app does not work on your iPad anymore. All right. Thank you.